I go a bit complex with chemistry behind that, but I try to make it very simple. We have the light source. So the material which we are coating to the surface of the gowns, we are during synthesis. So we reduce them into very small size, those materials, before coating. So those materials, if we reduce at a very small size, we increase the ability of absorbing the light. And those materials which we are using to coat the surface, they are those which have a higher ability of absorbing light. So when they become very small, so even the normal light, even when you are indoor, they will be able to absorb the light. So when the doctor nurse is working, so that's normal light, very normal light. It's very small intensity of the light will be able to activate the light because the material are very small. So during the night, or when there is weather, we use the special lights, which use the ultraviolet light. So those materials, those gowns, will be integrated with the special light. So there will be a special lamp, so a special chamber to recharge it. So during the night, when there is a low intensity of the light, so the doctor or nurses will take the gowns and put the special chambers, which have the special lamp again. That special lamp produces the same intensity as the sunlight. It's known as the ultraviolet rays. So we charge and then continue the work. Another question. I say that it is reusable. Why reusable? So there are using special fluid which will be used for washing the gowns. So if you wash the gowns, this special fluid will separate. You know, when the bacteria or virus destroy it, it's not removed automatically. So it will also be, it will be the one of the part of it, and the raw part of the coat. So how do we remove it? So there will be a special fluid which will neutralize the charge so that the bacteria will be removed from the surface. And then so that when I say it's automated, so it is recycled the charge. So we are working with the surface charge, recycle the charge, and then it continues. So this is a little bit chemistry, but I try to make it simple.
Thank you. Please take to, yes. Then you have one in front and the Dr. Kabender, I think. Then you have a lady over there.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Leopold Kabendera. I'm an old-timer. I'm involved in so many businesses, so I don't really have to say what I do. Right now, I run a small company called GRS. It's a new company in Malaysia, which is handling the remote site services. So the remote site services can do many, but I'm involved somehow with Nelson Mandela. I've been involved now for the last 1 year. And my involvement comes out of the fact that Nelson Mandela is looking for the business community to work with. And I happen to be one of them who is working with Nelson Mandela to try and see how the private sector would team up with Nelson Mandela to be able to do like what we're doing now. I thank the East African Business Council for this meeting. Because one thing that we all are aware is that there is very little linkage between the academia and the rest of the economies of Africa, I'll say. It's not only Tanzania, it's in Africa. Academia always honors people who have a very PhD degree. But I would like to share something to share with you something that one of the Ghanaian professors who live in the US wrote in one of his books. That book is banned in most African countries because of the fact that it comes out with the truth about Africa. He pointed out that in Zambia and Malawi, he used those two countries for reasons known to himself. But it happens in Tanzania and I think across Africa that professors, engineers, the professor engineers in African professors come from very high institutions of Europe. And they come from the best universities of the world, but have failed to invent a stone crusher to help their own mothers to stop crushing stones with their own hands. I don't know whether anyone has read that book. East Africa Business Council trying to bring that down. The guy was referring to what you call a cobweb. See, in Africa, all other races have cobwebs except Africans. Chinese have a cobweb. They are doing what they're doing because they have a cobweb. Japanese are doing what they're doing because they have a cobweb. Europeans have a cobweb, but Africans, we don't have a cobweb. What we're doing here, we are talking, everybody is talking in isolation. When Professor Loga was giving his presentation, I wrote something here. I said, where do we start engagements with commercial industries? Do we start after the innovators have come up with the innovation? Or we must start earlier than that? Because when I see all that has been pitched today, we should not be talking about SMEs. We should be talking about industrialization. These are big ideas. Now we are going back. Because we don't have cobwebs, we are going back to talk about SMEs. We are going to start from the start. This thing is coming from a PhD holder, well researched. We got again to SME. It will only come out and bring results 100 years from today. Most of us will be there. So let's change our mindsets. That's what I want to say. Let's change our mindsets. Do we have a research and innovation policy in Tanzania, or in West Africa, or in Africa? Start from there. If we don't, then we do things the way we are doing, small, small. Wafanyabiashara wadogo wadogo. Wakulima wadogo wadogo. What is this wadogo wadogo? When are we going to go big? We are starting to talk about SMEs. The pitching coming from North Nelson. I think that's all. Let's open up our mind. Let's look at where are we sourcing funding for research. We are begging. I've heard it from the innovators. They go begging money for research. They again come to this one and you want, after getting the money to do the research, to come up with something that can transform Africa. We go to SME. Will Africa be transformed by SME? So there is something that we must look at. This institution is a big institution. We've just been told there are only 3 of this kind in Africa. The 4th one is supposed to come up, but it's not yet in place. We have all the people trying so hard. They are doing research, and we want to sit down and try to bring them to the level of SMEs. We shouldn't do that. We need a policy in place, and that's what want to talk about industrialization, want to talk about innovation. There are no banks. There's only one bank. We have one bank in Tanzania. In East Africa, actually every bank in East Africa should be here today. But apparently, unfortunately, the banks of East Africa are controlled by the central bank. We have anybody here from the central bank? Madam will try to do what she can do, but she cannot go against Bank of Tanzania regulations, which stops them from funding startups. Going to ask you for a business plan, and you're saying you're starting up, say, first start, let's see how you're doing, then we'll give you funds. We'll never go anywhere. I'm in business in Tanzania for the last 14 years, but I realized all these things that we have a problem with policies. If we want to do research for innovation, we must have funds to do that, facilitate that process. We shouldn't be begging. Okay, whoever comes to us, support us, that's fine. We have development partners, but they should be adding to what we are doing ourselves. So, Nelson Mandela, are you known to the central bank? Does the Central Bank of Tanzania know that you are innovators of this kind? If they don't, then we are wasting our day here. We are happy that we're here. We are seeing, I've heard things, I've been involved. Like somebody has come up with a solution for outside. I used to sit in that board and I was in charge of the audit committee. The non-revenue water was the biggest thing. They produce water which has cost. But when they go to sell, the water disappears. It's a big time, it's a big problem for the whole of Africa. It's not only for our side. It's a big problem for the whole of Africa. To produce potable water is a cost. But 30 to 40% of this water gets lost. Now we have an innovator who is coming up with a solution to that, and we are going to say she will start as an MC. And the SME. That SME will never bring a solution to outside. We will continue to suffer from non-revenue water. So I think we need to, it should come from this forum that now let's go to the next level of engagement must be to try and make sure that in our policies we have a process of funding innovations. Research for innovation must be properly funded, to be part of the budgets of the university, of the government, of the private sector. Even the private sector. I mean, if you position yourself as innovation for development, even the private sector will set up some funds for you. For those who are, I mean, if I'm running a company and I know Mandela is doing work that I'm going to need, because when I face a problem, if I'm in business, I face a problem, scientific, where do I take it? I go complaining everywhere. But I can go to them, engage this or whatever, raise this problem. I don't know, I want to ask one question. All these researchers that have pitched something today, the innovators that have pitched something, they're showing the problem they're trying to solve. How did you know that problem? I want to know, because those problems, you should not be finding problems. The private sector, the industry, people should be bringing problems to you. Then you say, this is the research I'm going to do, and you come out something. But if you have also to waste time and find the problem, well, there are so many problems around. I think we are full of problems everywhere. So there has to be, I think the entire process, the Nelson Mandela will need to be a process of really getting these problems that need to be researched on so that we can have innovation to solve them, rather than things going the other way. And again, that's why coming to Professor Woga, that the level of engagement should not start when we have come up with innovation. It should start right. You should engage the entire private sector more effectively and invite them to bring their problems to Nelson Mandela. So I think the message is sent to them.
Thank you very much.
I have something, another little thing which is, I think it's not easy, I think it's a big one. Everybody's talking about accessibility to funding. Accessibility to funding. If you want to innovate, we should not be talking about that language. We should find the problem, we cannot be financed. This kind of innovation cannot be financed by commercial banks. Commercial banks, they're looking for some money from you. We should try and engage development banks. There are development banks in this world, and the development banks have no borders. You start a development bank, it has no borders. It will go throughout Africa. But we have European Development Bank. They have no borders. Developing, getting yourself engaged with them, because some of these innovations, if they are picked up by the proper banks, by the time they work with SME, someone will be producing that product somewhere else because he has the fund.
Mr. President, please be short so that we can proceed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now allow me to announce that you have only 10 minutes before we go for lunch. And if you are going to contribute, please take only 1 minute. Once it ends, I'll just stop.
Thank you very much indeed. I'm very glad to be here by chance. In fact, it's Kabedera who told me about Taylor. My name is Philip Nguma. I have been involved with Nelson Mandela from when it started with Professor Njau Rosenberg. Till today we are promoting what called the Arusha we want. And the essence of Arusha we want is to transform this city of Arusha and its environment to be like the city of Singapore. That is a very huge agenda. We want to set Nelson Mandela take a call in Arusha so that it can solve industry and social problems. I think that's what it's trying to put down here. That's been done. The World Bank did research to establish Nelson Mandela to be a center of excellence. I participated in it fully, and Professor Barton. One of the institutions is to establish world-class universities to come to Nelson Mandela. And one institution I want to say here is African Institute of Mathematical Sciences. It wanted to establish a Nelson Mandela. Then it went down to Bagamoyo, I think somewhere for that. It's an opportunity for you to go back to that agenda. Another thing is, I'm not sure whether Nelson Mandela is in the National Economic Empowerment Council. If it is not there, then this incubation center should be linked to the National Economic Council so that you can also get funds from there. And for sure, I'll come back to the investors at a later time. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mo. Thank you very much for keeping the time. Anyone? Thank you.